What's up, everybody? It is Matt from ElectricAllWheel, and today we have the Lectric XPeak 750 watt rear hub on 26x4 fat tires. This is the step-through version from Lectric. It includes fenders, a Renegade front suspension fork, the classic Lectric display with a massive headlight here on the handlebars, as well as a right-hand horizontal thumb throttle. We are going to be adding a second factory battery. I know a lot of you got the extra battery from the sales from Lectric, and there are a lot of batteries that go unused because you cannot get them in line, and it's difficult to place in storage and then remove and install into the bike and then put back in storage the dead battery. We are going to make it possible to run both batteries at the same time utilizing the new TFL 6-pin connector and our 40 amp kit. Keep in mind that you can do an external install with the Datex DX2, and with that you can add an additional 2 USB accessory plugins utilizing the bike's battery power from your dual battery setup. You'll want to check out our previous video for the external install and then just utilize the Datex DX2. You can check other videos in the channel that'll show you exactly how to hook that up. We've done it with plenty of the electric bikes, including the XP 3.0. Now listen, if you are going to dual battery your e-bike, I must implore you, get a suspension seat post. The bike case bump stop suspension seat post is well worth it if you're going to be riding the dual battery range that you will get when adding a second battery to your Lectric XPeak. We will leave links to all of these products in the description below, and we appreciate you utilizing those links to help support the ElectricAllWheel YouTube channel. Another thing we're going to put out there in the near future, we will be adding some HEB Allscape 26x4 fat tires. It's our favorite tire so far, and we will leave a link for those in the description as well. Check them out. We have them on the Wired Cruiser, the E-Cells 5-star. We're going to be putting the Viperus, which is another pattern we really like, on the Aerial Rider Kepler, and we feel like it's going to look really good on the Lectric XPeak. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It is our primary, and if you're in the area, check out e-bikes of Tampa Bay, Florida. Get in that Facebook group, make an event. Go for a ride with your e-bike friends. Stick around at the end of the video where we will give you some range calculations utilizing the Mica toll constant. Let's get to it. First thing I want to do is just take this motor cable loose, and I'm only doing this so I can utilize the slack. I'm just going to go ahead and take this thing all the way. And then we will undo the brake cable because it is attached to the controller. The brake light cable, that is. And then we're going to undo this one at the housing. From there, we're going to take out 3 screws, 1, 2, and 3 in the back here. And then we'll remove this battery plate, the pin plate, and immediately we see the XT60 connector. But we need to be mindful that we have to plug in the XT60s, so we've got to get that thing out and then get the plate unplugged like so. There we go. Now that we've got our controller out, 24 plus or minus 5 amps is the current max current limit, 48 volt controller, 120 degree phase angle, and the off voltage is plus or minus 0.5 of 40. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this this end of the XT60 connector into the housing. So there we are. This is the male connector portion with the female pins of the XT60. Now I'm going to take my 40 amp balancer, and I have my 2 battery inputs here, and you can actually see that written on the face of this. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. And then from there, I'm going to plug the output into the controller itself. So now I'm going to take my second connector and then attach my battery plate. I'm not loading it up with tape because this thing needs surface area for heat dissipation, but I don't anticipate the heat rising up to a level that is going to be corrupted to this scenario. Make sure you have your extension out. You'll want to pull as much of the slack out of here as you can because it will save you the room internal to the controller compartment. Okay, now I'm going to bring everything back around and go ahead and get it all hooked back up. Make sure and point your arrowheads. They're all printed on the side face of the connectors, and just point the arrows at one another. Get everything wrapped up. Make sure you grab your brake cable, your brake light cable, and your motor cable when you're putting these all back in. So I'm going to take my other cable, run this cable up through the center there, and then plug this in, and then bring this on up. Go ahead and get this zip tied using the existing frame mount locations. And there you go. We have power to the rear wheel. That is good. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove one of these screws from the faceplate so I can mount the adapter on here. And what you'll see is this side has negative, this side has positive. I'm just trying to remember where I'm at. So I'm going to take out the top right screw. And this screw is not an exact match, but I got something that I know will work. It's got a little bit extra length and will allow me to use these screw holes and mount this TFL 6-pin adapter. Now this is the positive side and this is the negative, and you can see the symbols here and here. So I'm going to put the red wires on the positive side, just plug it in. And then from there, I'm going to take this screw and I'm just going to put it through that opening. Go ahead and get that screwed down. Now this gives a secure connection, and this won't back out, especially when bagged. I'm going to go ahead and take this and plug it in. And then I'm going to remove my factory battery. My power's still on, I can see that. I know it's going to work. And there we are. So we have power from the second factory battery. Here is the first out of the frame, so we know we have a good connection. Now we're going to use the ever popular bike case e-bike battery bag, and we're going to put the factory battery inside that and then strap it down to the rear rack. What I like to do is put the straps over the top, so I have to loop it under the rack and then over the top again for the last connection. There we go. I'm going to take my slack, make sure that it's run in there, and then the battery is seated in the bottom. Then I'm going to tuck it under one time and then bring it around. Clip to close. Now I'm going to take my straps and then just run them and connect them through right here, and we'll use the rear as the stop. Well, there you have it. We have successfully added a second 48 volt, 14 amp hour factory battery to the Lectric XPeak with an internal install of the 40 amp dual battery discharge balancer kit from ElectricAllWheel. Now it's a little tight. Some of you may wish to do an external install, and we do have a previous video that will show you how to do just that with the XPeak and an aftermarket battery, not the factory battery. But we wanted to get the factory battery install demonstration in there as well as an internal install, so it looks as clean as can get with the second factory battery on the rear rack. I know a lot of you stuck around for some range calculations, so let's just get to it. The original factory battery is 14 amp hours and the second factory battery is 14 amp hours, so 14 plus 14 equals 28. Multiply that by 48 and you get 1,344 watt hours. Now we're going to divide that by 25, and 25 is the Mica-Toll constant that says it's 25 watt hours per mile ridden at 20 miles an hour throttle only. And you get 53.76 miles with this dual battery setup at 20 miles an hour throttle only. Now, of course, that will all vary based on rider weight, terrain, physical conditions, etc. But keep in mind, this calculation considers throttle only at 20 miles an hour, so it's a pretty good estimate and roundabout for what you can expect from your dual battery XPeak. We are pretty happy with that. 53.76 miles, that's a long clip. If you haven't, go ahead and get yourself a bike case suspension seat post. You will thank me later. 31.8 millimeter shim with a 27.2 millimeter bike case suspension seat post. And then we use the Cloud 9 suspension seat as well. It's soft and cushy and perfect for a long range ride. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It is our primary, and if you're in the area, check out E-Bikes of Tampa Bay, Florida. Get in that Facebook group, make an event, and go for a ride with your friends. We will talk to you next time.